Well, thank you for joining me for Crush's first ever podcast.
I'm so honored.
Oh, thank you. Wanted to introduce you, Jack Liang, founder of Moonrise, a new wellness sanctuary opening up in New York in Soho soon. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Would love to hear more of your journey.
Yeah, so I'm from Brooklyn. I had some immigrant parents, and my upbringing looked kind of chaotic. Had 14 people in a 4-bedroom home in pre-gentrified Brooklyn. Was always outside playing with the kids. Eventually, ended up with some people I shouldn't have been around, and
that happens in New York.
Yeah, it happens. Almost, didn't graduate high school. I was trying to be a basketball player. Ended up having a knee surgery, and when I was going to go to college, I only was able to get accepted into BMCC Community College. And at that point in my life, I had an older cousin who was arrested for 7 years. And my dad had an honest conversation with me. He was like, he doesn't speak any English. He never really tries to have like deep talks with me. He looks at me like very seriously. He's like, hey, I think you would be a really good mailman. And I was like,
yeah. Every Asian parent's dream, right?
I was like, wait, what? A mailman? Oh, man. I couldn't even believe it at that time. I didn't know, like, wow, like your own father doesn't even think so highly of you. He was like, no, I'm serious. I think you there's good benefits and it's a safe job. And I was like, oh, my God. Let me prove all these people wrong. Yeah. I have a clear slate. I'm not playing basketball anymore. I go to BMCC. It's safe there. It's like the first time I feel safe in a neighborhood. Yeah. And I'm meeting working class people for the first time, like, accountants and hotel managers and retail managers. And I'm like blown away by what these people do. I never really understood what careers you can embark on. So I go to BMCC. I do really well. I crush it. Yeah. Right. 3.8.
Let's go.
And then I transfer to NYU. NYU, I get in, I go to engineering school, and then it costs a lot of money. And I'm like, how do I pay for college? Yeah. So I become a party promoter. I go to a few parties. They're like, hey, you would be good at this. I'm like, okay. End up doing that for like 6 years. And from then after graduating college, I wanted to be a more legitimate businessman instead of being a party promoter. Yeah. And that led me to open my first restaurant. It's called the Poke Spa. We did over $3 million our first year. And then in 2 years, we had 7 restaurants. And it seemed from the outside like I'm this kid from Brooklyn. I sort of made it. I'm driving a BMW. And what I realized quickly at that time was how undeveloped I was. I still carried a lot of anger. I didn't know how to have difficult conversations with my co-founders. I didn't know how to fire my employees. I was always scared that if we got into some sort of argument, there could be a confrontation, then there could be a fight potentially, right? And I was very scared of that. Thankfully, I was recruited at that time to work for Meta. And while I was at Meta, I embarked on all these mental health journeys. So, studied crucial conversations, went to Stanford to study interpersonal dynamics, eventually doing plant medicine. And then that led me to a whole different path of like
transformation.
I was like, oh man, I had all these issues. Like, why are these issues here? What does trauma actually manifest into reality for me? And then during that time, it was like pandemic. There was a lot of violence towards Asian Americans. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was never an activist. I was never in politics. And I started leading rallies. My first rally was a record-breaking rally. It was over 10,000 people. My second rally was in Times Square. I had Rihanna in attendance. I led a meditation for Rihanna. I always kind of joke that, Rihanna came to my concert.
Your concert.
And then, I just kept on doing that for about a year, realizing I didn't really, like, some things I was making a difference, but I felt like the real problem was this data that I discovered that for Asian Americans under 40, the leading cause of death is suicide. Yeah. And in 2022, I lost 3 guy friends to suicide, and that was very challenging for me. I felt like I was here rallying and doing all this work, but I wasn't solving the real problem. Yeah, I kind of stopped everything and I just left to Asia. I felt like it was the only time I could experience living there. Let me go and live this dream of being a nomad and step away from everything. And while I was there, I discovered this saying. It's like cultivate yourself, then your family, then your community, and then the world. And if you look at the Asian American experience, there's 30 Asian languages spoken in the U.S. Majority of them have a history of war. And then you look at the families. Most of these people just came out of poverty, so they're lacking tools to express themselves, to have nonviolent communication. And then, you have the dad who's probably angry, the mom who's probably like holding it all in, and then you have the child who is probably our age now, and they're taught to work really hard, grow up, and and then everything will work out. But the truth is, it seems like things aren't really working out, right? And the saying I always say is like, if we want other people to love us, we first have to learn how to love ourselves. Okay. And it's very difficult to do that.
Yeah.
So that whole story goes back to why I'm doing Moonrise. It's like, why am I doing Moonrise? So Moonrise is really, like, the mission is to change culture, right? To be more self-actualizing, to cultivate, right? Self-cultivate. And why that's important is if we can make it cool to cultivate yourself, to do this type of work. And we have people like you, we have these really amazing founders and actors and stars talking about this and being around others who are doing it, then we begin to make it normal for culture. If we do that in New York, then, that potentially can make an impact
everywhere
in the rest of the world. Yes.
Well, I love that story. Thank you for sharing all of that. You said that modern wellness is missing something. Where do you think it falls most short?
The trends always follow money, and money is going towards machinery. These machines cost, 6 figures, right? And,
yes,
and not a lot of people could afford them. And oftentimes it's isolated. You're in the crowd chamber, you're in the ice tub, and I think what it's missing is the community aspect. Like, how can we as a community create these spaces where the environment is healing? So not just the people, right? Because the people are medicine, but the lighting, right? The scents that they're breathing, the sounds that they're listening to, so the drinks that they're consuming. How can spaces that we enter heal us without us even knowing, right? It could still be a fun time, but everything around it, all the intention is around inducing a rest, relax, safe state. And then that allows for deeper and truer conversations.
Yeah, so that's what you mean by resetting the nervous system through your space.
Exactly.
Yeah, love that. What belief or assumption did you have at the beginning of this project that you have since had to unlearn?
In the beginning of this project, I was still coming at it from a place of like a yogi healer, someone who's just came back from the Himalayas, who's been away at all these meditation retreats. And I had to bring this calm energy to New York. And then here I am, dealing with construction, dealing with lawyers and, people and design. And what I had to let go of is the identity of that person.
Yeah.
Right. I knew I couldn't create this project as that person. So then there's this word is like integration. How do we integrate the lessons that we learned into the person that we want to be so that we can create the things that we want to see in the world?
Well, I'm excited to see that creation in your eyes. What has been the hardest tension between holding a long-term vision and surviving the day-to-day?
Yeah, from my past, all my projects, like they would launch in 3 months. Like it could be a restaurant, right? They would give us 3 months free, and then I would get it open.
You had to open.
Yeah. And this project has taken me so long. The biggest thing I had to learn is patience. Patience is essentially knowing that some things take time, but I still have to find the productive and fun things to do during that waiting period.
Yeah.
Right. So I still have to be growing. I still have to think about different models and revenue streams and ways to bring people in instead of, just waiting for the construction to be done.
Well, as a leader, I think you have to think about all those things.
Yeah.
Founder.
Like if it was easy to do, then everyone would do it.
True.
And sometimes like if it's not a little bit difficult, it's just not exciting for me to do.
Yeah. You like the thrill, you like the pain.
I like the thrill. I think that like that is a recipe for flow state is like, it has to be difficult enough where you have to try, but not difficult enough where it's like
you give up?
Yeah, it's like, oh, Jack, take me to the moon. It's like good luck. I don't know.
What moment best captures the startup life for you?
When I felt so crushed by delays.
Yeah.
Need more funding. I needed more help from team members. And it just felt like this moment of overwhelm of like, fuck, I can't believe I have to do all of this. And feeling like the room is collapsing. And then kind of just like shaking it off and getting through that. Yeah, there's like level of faith that I have. And the faith is like everything will work out. The money will come. The people will come. And it has so far, right? And it will, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that moment when it feels like it's impossible, and then getting through that is a real reflection point of what I think startup life is. Just getting through every single time there's an obstacle.
Well, that's what you signed up for.
Yeah.
If you give one message to a founder in year one, what would it be?
I think to a founder in my space, which is building community, is the biggest risk to my business is that I'm around people that I don't like every day. My mind could be there, but my soul is in Bali. I'm only trying to be around people who I enjoy, who invigorate me, who inspire me, who also see my gifts and see all parts of me. And anything less than that, I cannot do it, because I think the time we spend is more important than money. And if I'm going to show up every day and I'm going to say hi to people, I better want to say hi to them. So my message to founders is choose who you surround yourself with, right? Like choose your customers wisely, right? If you're dealing with a nagging customer who doesn't appreciate your service, just fire that customer. It's just not even worth it. I want the people at Moonrise to be, self-aware and mindful and in service to the community as well.
Or at least come with the intention.
Yeah. Or else you just build a jail for yourself and you have to show up to the jail every day and you hate it. And that doesn't serve anyone. That energy doesn't serve anyone, right? I want to show up like I can't wait to see these people today and like offer them something that is truly memorable and inspiring and transformational.
No, that's so meaningful and such an important part of being a founder.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of wellness spaces these days struggle with inclusivity in their programming. How are you approaching that with Moonrise?
Yeah, I thought about this for a long time and think about like exclusive clubs and the sometimes the price point and the application is what separates that, right? And it's like, oh, you could only come in if you know XYZ person and you can afford this rate. I understand that business model. I don't think there's anything wrong with that business model. It helps the business sustain. How I'm thinking about it is I will have an online portion, right, that live streams all these conversations. We'll have different programming, and they will get day passes, because most of the people following me on Instagram right now, they don't even live in New York, right? And they want to probably visit once a year, maybe twice a year. And when they do come, I can enroll them in this online version of Moonrise, and they'll still be able to come as a guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. You said you worked with Meta for many years, and so obviously you're aware of the rise of AI and technology. How do you think the role you play with building a physical sanctuary in that?
Yeah, I think as technology develops, humans need to develop. Like at the pace where technology is developing, it's unfathomable. Like I can't even tell like what will happen with AI in a few years, right? What I'm doing is I'm saying we as humans, we need to develop as well and what that looks like, right? If you look at what was the definition of strength throughout history, in the beginning of humanity, strength was like you can wrestle an animal and kill it, right? And eat it. And then we had weapons. We had spears, we had swords, we had arrows, and if you could wield a sword really well, you would be rewarded. And then humanity developed, and it was like control and power and influence, right? Then you have political leaders. And I think the future of strength is how well you can control your mind. There's oftentimes we have so many distractions with AI, with ads, and content. Everything is getting so good.
Yeah.
It's like, can you just turn everything off and be with your own mind? Or can you know that this thing is happening and be aware of it? And I think those people who can control their minds more will win in the future. So with Moonrise, right? Moonrise is a space where we don't really use technology, right? There's obviously some, right? The technology we use is to advance the space to mimic nature, right? But it's very little screens. There's no Wi-Fi. And a lot of what we're going to be doing is dripping in mindfulness, right? Dripping in meditation, dripping in
the inner work.
Right. Just dripping it in. Not forcing it, right? Not like, oh, this is what we're all about, but like, hey, there's a room over there and it's completely, quiet or has the sounds of nature. And if you just want to drop in with yourself and sit with yourself when things are busy or outside, that's perfectly normal.
Yeah.
So teaching that that's okay. Right, or giving people a sound bath or a breathwork experience and then letting them sit in silence for a bit and just sit with their own minds. And that's how we create stronger people.
True. When you look back years from now, what do you hope people say Moonrise gave them?
I hope that people talk about Moonrise like it was the place that they loved going. There's this word, third space. And Moonrise is ideally a third space in many countries, right? And if it's not Moonrise, it's a version of it. Yeah, like I want people to find their people, right? Like, oh, I feel lonely in New York. I feel like there's not enough people who are focusing on self-cultivation and controlling their awareness or their consciousness. And Moonrise is that place where we go, and that's a normal conversation, right? It is where these thought leaders will come and talk about the research that they're doing, and the books that they're writing, and the things they're creating into the world from this place of more awareness or consciousness. And if we make that cool, right? We get cool people like you going in there and just like bringing friends and doing cool things. And make that normal. We ingrain it into culture.
Yeah.
Culture changes.
Love that. More love and kindness in this world.
For sure.
Well, thank you for joining me today and lots of insight. What would you want to leave with the viewers today?
I think this conversation around like love, healing, self-cultivation is often viewed as a feminine thing to talk about. And I have been trying to prove that these conversations need to be had with men. And I think it's harder sometimes to choose love than it is to choose violence or revenge. I think we need to normalize it because there's a lot of men who are suffering, and we need to give permission for them to speak about it. So there needs to be more safe spaces. And that's one of the things that I'm currently exploring right now. I think we need to have more conversations about these topics.
Yeah, I think it's an amazing and ambitious goal, and you've already started, the ball rolling. So really excited to see that, and happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm happy you're a part of it too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give me 5.
It's your first one. That's really good. I'm glad that I could be your first one.